Hello, it is 9 p.m. in Djibouti. It's time to English New Edition. We have tonight headlines. In the region of Dakhil, the government delegation went to deliver the sports equipment and launch As'ila summer tournament. Concerning the international scene, Mali and presidential 36,000 men deployed to secure voting offices. Welcome to our newsroom. A strong delegation is a strong government delegation composed of three ministers, Mr. Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Halim, and the budget ministers, Bodi Ahmed Roble, and the Minister of Trade, Hassan Ahmed Arbahim, participate in the ceremony of distribution of sports equipment to the sports associations of As'ila and the handovers for the followers of the Kaitorio As'ila. The use of As'ila was busy yesterday morning for the official ceremony of donations of sports equipment for the benefit of the Football Sports Association and the kit for fighting the Kaitorio clubs. A total of 16 sport training courses were donated by the Dadal Arho Association, Gabad Development Caravan, with the support of the State Secretary for Youth and collaborations of the CDC of As'ila. The Kaitorio Club have benefit from combat kits designed to secure members during training. The donation ceremony was attended by government delegations chaired by Mr. Mohammed, by the Minister of Transport and the Minister of Unit of Area, Mr. Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Halim, composed of the Budget Ministers Bodi Ahmed Roble and the Trade Minister Mr. Hassan Ahmed Arbahim, who was accompanied by the Prefect of the Dakhil region, Mr. Mohammed Sheikho, the Chairman of the Board, Mr. Mohammed Sir Abdurrahman Yunis Arre. The government delegation was warmly welcomed. The entire population of As'ila, especially the youth of As'ila, was anxiously awaiting the donations of sports equipment to start the summer tournament, a sporting event that gathers every year as As'ila Youth Sports Association. The regional authorities and the leaders of association, including the Prefect Mr. Mohammed Sheikh Hassan, thanked the population of As'ila for hosting the ministerial delegation who took part in the sports equipment exhibition at the launch of the summer tournament in As'ila. In addition to a sporting event, the delegation during this assessment of the socio-economic situation of Gobad region to provide a rapid response for the government to the grievance of the population. During their missions in As'ila, the government delegation was accompanied by the Prefect of the Dakhil region, Mr. Mohammed Sheikho. On the behalf of the population, he thanked the population of As'ila for the warm welcome given to the ministers and the region, including Mr. Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Halim, native of Gobad, speaking in front of the official stand in the presence of many young people dressed in sports clothes. The Prefect congratulated the delegation for its participation in the ceremony of sports equipment discount for Association of As'ila, who will participate in the summer tournament of Gobad organized annually by the association Dadal Arho. He also added that the minister's delegation will ascertain the socio-economic situations in the sectors of As'ila and inquiries about the needs of the youth to initiate a better development. The strong participation of donation ceremony organized for the associations of the Dalarho is a proof of commitment of the population on the side of the government for the development of the youth of Gobad. He also thanked the associations of development Caravan Dadal Arho for the brilliant organizations. For his part, the Minister of the Region and the Minister of Transport, native of Gobad, Mr. Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Halim, took the floor to thank the people of for the warm welcome to the delegations and himself. The Minister congratulated the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, Hassan Kamil, for the granting of sports equipment to As'ila associations for that will help improve the practice of sport. He also praised the effort of the leaders of CDC and the association Dadal Arho, which is active in the development of the population, especially for the population. This donation of equipment will strengthen the development of sports activity for young people. The development of young people is a priority of the President of the Republic, who gave instructions for the establishment of the CDC for a better development of youth. It is in the spirit that we are today as ELA for the delivery, donate and start the summer sport tournament. He said the practices of sport is very important for young people. It distracts them and prevent them from using drugs and chewing cut. The young ministers also has associations that are very active in the development and support of the young people. Since its creation, it has initiated many development activities in rural area by improving access to water and education. Is a great job, and ask you to support his. He announced that the Minister of Youth promised that the CDC of As'ela will be completely renovated. Concerning the development of energy and waters are now available in As'ela. The population also has access to telephone networks, can call as Kutabuya. He also the opportunity to contact their family in Djibouti and throughout the country, he said. After the equipment was launched over the sports associations in As'ela, the ministerial delegation and regional leaders launched the summer tournament in the locality of As'ela. Several dozens of sport teams were present and will participate in the various competitions. The ladders were present and parade in order to in front of the government official and officials of the region. The ceremony took place on As'ela football field, and finally the government delegation went down to the field to launch the summer tournament of the locality of As'ela, long awaited by all the youth of As'ela. The Minister of Health, Dr. Jama Al-Mi'uki, chaired an important meeting held in his cabinet which brought together all the Directors General and the Central Directors as well as head of the transversal program. The purpose of this meeting was to periodically monitor the activities and work undertaken by the Department of Health in accordance with its 2018 annual action plan. And during the discussions, the Minister of Health, Dr. Jama Al-Mi'uki, came back on the reform and the emergency services, notably by the improvement of the reception and the care of the levels and emergency services, namely the Peltier Hospital, Shekho Hospital in Balbala, and the 5 polyclinics in Djibouti City. Health authorities have therefore decided on ways and means to improve the quality of overall care on emergency level. The Health Department Executive reviewed the progress of the construction and renovation of buildings to accommodate new services. These are of the future Peltier and Balbala operating theaters, the National Surgical Centers and the Pediatric Hospital, the second dialysis center in Balbala, the oxygen production plant, and the first ever MRI operational in Peltier Hospital from the beginning of September. Finally, the meeting focuses on the issue of the revitalization of the CAM, which aims to consolidate the pivotal role in the national pharmaceutical distribution system. In this regard, the Minister of Health, Dr. Jama Al-Mi'uki, requested the rapid implementation of the recommendation for the strengthening of the capacity and skills of CAM in terms of modernization and logistics structure and extensions of the distribution network to private structure. And yesterday, the first group of the Djiboutian pilgrims in Medina had a busy day on the program guided tours through the places where the Prophet of Islam and his companion performed acts that were decisive for the continuations of the message. In a second step, for the delegation went to Djibouti to Qiblatayni Mosque, said in Quba Mosque, before leaving to the Kandak Mosque, where they were dishes and unfolded. The troops of Islam had won at the Egyptian pilgrims that was brought the depths in which the messengers of God said, he who eats 7 passes and closes not hate him in his day. First on Uhud mountain, where 70 companions of the Prophet learned their status as martyrs for giving their lives in the paths of Allah. The cemetery of these 70 previous companion of the Prophet is a foot of a valley where our pilgrims have been able to go for a long prayers for these martyrs of Islam. The Camp Lemonnier employees yesterday held the elections of the presidential of the trade unions. In total, most of the Camera who voted yesterday after to elect their new union president for a 2-year term. So 2 persons was in the running: the current incumbent president Musa Muhammad Musa and Khalid. It should be noted is passing that the Labour Inspectorate supervised the smooth running of this election, and the National Police, which secured the enclosures after the examinations. Musa Muhammad Musa has taken back to this post. In fact, the voters renewed their confidence under the joint supervision of a judicial officer and the Labour Inspectorate of the Ministry of Labour. It should be remembered that all the measures have been implemented to facilitate the setting up of this election for the president of the Camp Lemonnier Syndicate, thus enabling the camp employees to elect their president freely. The outgoing president Musa Muhammad said the elections went smoothly, avoiding verbal provocation that could lead to violence. He stressed that all stages of the process were conducted in a transparent and calm manner under the joint supervision of a judicial officers and the Labour Inspectorate of the Ministry of Labour. Concerning the press release, the family of Abdulrazak Muhammad searches his daughters Hasna Abdulrazak Muhammad disappeared on Wednesday last August on 2018 at his home located in the Al-Hiba city. The last time it was out of her family, she was a red dresses and a t-shirt. All people aim to news have seen you contact these numbers 21 35 27 61 77 15 18 45 and they remembers to contact the Central Commissariat. And concerning the international scene, Malians go to the polls on Sundays in a vote that marks an important step forward for Mali, a landlocked country in Western Africa. This is honored home to almost 19 million people. Listen to this report.
Go to the polls on Sunday in a vote that marks an important step forward for Mali, a landlocked country in Western Africa that's home to almost 19 million people. Mali has been in turmoil since Tariq rebel on Losli Alia Jihadis seized its desert north in 2012, promoting French forces to intervene to push them back the following year. A 2013 poll won by President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta marked a return to democratic rule, with Keïta, but the security situation in the country has since deteriorated, especially in the north.
Israeli security forces killed Palestinian protesters on Friday amid the month-long agitations against the occupation of Palestinian land, according to the Palestine Health Ministry. More detail in this report.
Israeli security forces killed a Palestinian protester on Friday amid months-long agitation against the occupation of Palestinian land, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. Ashraf al-Qaeda, a ministry spokesman, said during demonstration at Zadri, east of Gaza Strip, Muhammad Jamal Abu Halima, 22, was martyred by Israeli police. Also, 396 Palestinians were injured by Israeli police and Gaza canisters. A written statement used by the Israeli army said the soldiers responded to Palestinians who tried to cross the fence with a single artillery shot and heavy weapon fire. Since the rally began on March 13, 137 Palestinian demonstrators have been martyred and thousands more injured by Israeli army gunfire. Protesters demanded the right of return to their homes and villages in historical Palestine, from which they were driven in 1948 to make way from the new state of Israel. They also demanded an end to Israeli decade-long blockade of Gaza Strip, which has quieted the coastal enclave's economic and deprived its 2 million inhabitants of many basic commodities.
This is it for tonight's news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.